What's going on, America? Kev from Kevin's Corner. I know some of y'all might have been watching me try to live stream from the Trump rally today up in Butler. Unfortunately, everything kept getting cut. I'm assuming they were jamming the signal, so I wasn't able to complete any type of coverage or get any type of maybe reactions from people who were closer up and saw some things. But I can tell you what I saw. Now, if you haven't heard already, President Trump, somebody tried to kill him, and thank God they failed. However, there were people killed, at least one person, and I don't know the status of the second person that was shot. So basically what happened, we're in the audience and Trump comes out and he begins to talk about a slide to show the difference between illegal immigration under Biden and under him. And as he turns to the slide and starts talking, we start hearing these pops, pop, 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 pop. And I'll show a video of it in a second. But the pops, were accompanied with smoke. And initially, you can tell the people around, their brain wasn't registering because, even myself, I was thinking, what are the chances of those being what I think they are? You're hearing pops, you're seeing smoke, and all I could do is try to make sense of it. My first thought was, are those fireworks? But why would they be shooting firecrackers or fireworks here, especially while Trump is talking? And the audience around is all kind of still standing there. And then it was like a wave of a reaction. It was a delayed reaction. And people started just kind of dropping in front. And then, of course, naturally people would start dropping down. And we were able to see the Secret Service cover the president and take him away. Now, the whole time when I came in, I noticed up on top of a building, there were two, snipers, and I made note of them. And then right before that all took place, I heard a couple people say, it looks like that sniper is positioning to shoot somebody. And so now, from reporting, it sounds like there was a shooter who was outside of the perimeter and was able to use a rifle to take several shots. One hitting the president in the ear, the other one hitting some people in the audience. But I kid you not, when you look at the video, you will see if the president would not have turned to point at that slide, there's a very high probability he would be dead. It would have hit him either in the back of the head or the side of the head. It's almost like he turned towards the sniper, and as he turned, that's when he got hit right here in the ear. Now, I've heard people be like, well, it looked like maybe so the Secret Service knocked him down and cut his ear. No. If you watch the video, which we're going to watch right now, you'll see that soon as the first shot happened, you saw him go and grab his ear. And I would say after that, of course, chaos broke out. But I got some thoughts about the whole situation. But first, let's watch President Trump and what took place. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you go for the king, you better take him out. Whoever attempted to do this went on a solo mission and a suicide mission at the same time. So as that sniper, recognized maybe some suspicious reaction or behavior, at that point, he had sealed his fate. So it was either I succeed and die thinking I saved America from whatever, or I just die for nothing. And unfortunately, he took some innocent people with him. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and watch this real quick and I'll react to it.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Now you see right there, he grabs his ear. Secret Service reacts. The crowd behind him isn't even ducking yet. They're still standing there. Now listen to the boss. Watch what Trump says. At this point, the shooter has been neutralized.
You ready? Are we good?
Shooter's down.
Are we good to move?
Now listen to Trump.
We're clear. Come on. Let me get my shoes. got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold on, your head is bloody.
So we gotta go with the class. Let me get my shoes. What's up? Wait.
USA. Look at that. Now, I'm going to let y'all know, I have never been more inspired by a public leader than I am after seeing that footage right there. I've always loved Trump. I think he is a warrior. He's been fighting for the country. But after watching that, that just took him to a whole nother level. This man, when he was as closest to death as you can possibly be. I mean, do you understand? You get hit in the ear. You don't get much closer than that. And instead of just ducking, he takes time to say, let me stop and address the crowd and let them know that we need to fight. That is the best depiction of courage and of defiance in the eyes of opposition and all the forces trying to stop him. I mean, you're talking about causing a nation to want to follow their leader into battle, to see him after being wounded, stand up and say, wait. Now, you know that probably drove Secret Service nuts. But instead of worrying about his own health, instead of saying, let me just go ahead and submit to protocol, he decides to wait. I want the people to know that all this opposition, all these attempts to stop me, it won't stop me. And he throws the fist up and tells us to fight. That right there made me feel like I could rush in and run straight into a whole troop of people and take them down. That was so inspiring. That right there was a moment in history that, fortunately and unfortunately, I was there to witness, to where we'll look back on that and say that was one of the greatest moments from one of the greatest leaders of all time. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciated what I just saw Trump do to inspire the people. And what did the crowd do? Start saying USA. So right afterwards, they escorted everyone out. And as I was driving home, I start hearing news reports come in, whereas I found out that, somebody lost their life. And actually, I have some footage of one of the people who was shot. It's just brief. There's no gory details, but I did catch them over there working on somebody, which scared me at first because I didn't even know what happened to Trump. I had one guy come straight up to me and said, oh my God, he's dead. They shot him and I saw blood squirting out of his neck. And, I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this. Because if that would have happened, it would tear the whole country apart. But, even still, it was unfortunate. As you can see right here, there's someone over there. Unfortunately, they were hit by the shooter. And they were over there working to save the person's life. And I don't know if that was the person that actually passed away or was it the one that I think is in critical condition. And then the good news is the shooter was also taken out. I'm assuming this is the shooter. Here's some more footage of someone who was laying down on top of some type of building. And I think that was the person that was, taken out. Let's take a look at that briefly.
This is unconfirmed. There it is. This would match the location that we're hearing, which would be a couple 100 yards outside the cordoned area. There appears to be a body, looks to me like dressed in gray.
Yeah, like I said, I'm assuming that's the shooter. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what I don't understand, and this is my problem with all of this, what I don't understand is how did that shooter get there? I mean, finding out that the shooter had a rifle. Rifles are not easy to conceal. They're not easy to conceal. If you have people inside the perimeter that you have checked, but there are locations outside of the perimeter, somebody needs to have their eyeballs on everything around that perimeter. And if there's anything that someone could climb on or any gaps or spaces where somebody could take a shot at the president from far away, nobody's out there watching that. Now, I'm assuming the snipers were scanning. And I'm assuming as people start saying it looks like that sniper's about to shoot someone, I'm assuming that's what he was doing or that's what he saw. But how did this person get that close and get on that elevated, level to be able to take this shot? We could have witnessed an assassination of a former president and the leading candidate right now for the Republican Party, which would have thrown our whole country into complete chaos. And what burns me up about this whole situation is after this happened, I'm hearing all of these Democrats and I'm watching CBS and all of these news stations come out and say this is a devastating moment. We do not condone violence, and political rhetoric needs to tone down. And and Biden comes out and he tries to pretend that he's sad when in reality I know that all of these Democrats probably would have been like, our problem is solved. I'm not saying that did anybody put anybody up to do this or whatever. But what I am saying, I don't think they would have been as sad and concerned as they're all pretending to be. And the reason that I say that is as they get on TV talking about this, we do not condone this, and our rhetoric needs to change and political violence needs to cease. When you spend all of your time saying that Trump is about to destroy the whole country, he's Hitler, he's Mussolini, he's all of these people. He is about to become a king. The Supreme Court has anointed him a supreme ruler over the country, and all of this rhetoric. And then they now come out talking about the rhetoric needs to be toned down. We don't need to condone any of this stuff. And now, I'm assuming this guy was not a Trump supporter who made this happen. So if anybody would have even attempted to do anything like this to a Democrat or, Biden, they would have opened up with this is all because of right-wing rhetoric and they're always talking about this and they're inspiring violence. We've been hearing Mad Max run around talking about how Trump is colluding with right-wing militias up there and convincing them to go out and have a bloodbath. All of this rhetoric. We heard Joe Biden come out and say, Trump said, you know what, the R word with Eugene Carroll. Come out and say Trump is a racist, a white nationalist. These folks have been demonizing him beyond measure. Not just your basic political rhetoric, tit for tat, maybe oppositional research. These are full-blown fabricated lies and narratives that if you catch simple-minded people that have bought into that Trump's a king, he's about to destroy the country, and Project 25 is basically a Nazi format. If you do all of that, you know what it's going to lead to. On the right, we do not come out and use that type of language. We simply focus on what we see and what we hear. We don't just full-blown start making up lies like the Democrats and the fake news now who are all trying to pretend that, this is breaking news. We're concerned about. These folks aren't concerned. And honestly, this is my personal opinion. If that person would have succeeded, I think that all these Democrats behind closed doors would be going, whew, man, that was a close one. Because we've thrown everything at this man but the kitchen sink. And I've been saying for a long time, they tried everything. Impeachments, lawfare, indictments, making up lies, calling him everything under the book. And he has prevailed through all of that. Now he can put on that list an attempted assassination. Now we're still waiting to see who this person is and what was their motive. But I could pretty much say that they weren't a Trump supporter. Their motive seemed pretty clear. And why? What they believe that is about Trump to where they say, I think I need to stop this man and be a hero to the left or a hero to save America. All they ended up doing is making him a superhero. That's what they did. So for all of the things that could have happened to Trump, this that happened is going to take him to a whole nother level. And I know it's cynical, it might sound cynical, but just like the Democrats probably hoped that Joe Biden would have went out there during that press conference and stunk it up so they could justify getting him to step down, I'm pretty sure many of them are saying, man, now we got to go easy on the rhetoric. Now we can't just go right back to our demonizing Trump. The news got to take a pause from calling him Hitler and Mussolini. You know, you just can't come out right after something like this happened and go straight back into that we got to stop him because he's a king. He's going to destroy the whole country right away. And he's a white man. You can't go right back to that. You got to take a pause and you got to be sensitive, or at least pretend to be sensitive about what just happened. Not to mention, as you're doing that, his popularity after seeing what he went through and his reaction to what he went through is going to skyrocket. Now you will have people that will say, I will follow Trump into battle any day. And folks that maybe didn't recognize how a real leader should respond in adversity and maybe was on the fence. After seeing that, I don't know what you're waiting on. That right there's a boss, okay? I mean, that's the type of president that I would say, I will follow that guy. I'll follow him in the battle. So the Democrats are in a little bit of a pickle, but they have spent so much time creating such a toxic environment politically. You're not just saying we don't like his policies. You're calling this man a dictator. He's about to have a bloodbath. He wants a civil war. He's a white nationalist. He hates blacks. He hates Jews. He hates gays. He hates all these people. He's about to take away women's rights. He's about to, all of these things you've been telling the public, knowing that humans are simple-minded enough to buy into it and think, we got to stop this evil man. You know, the whole, if I could go back and stop Hitler when he was a baby, people would think like that. But yet you will hear them say right-wing political violence is the greatest threat. We're not out there doing this stuff. But yet this happens, and I'm thankful that nothing happened to President Trump, but my condolences goes out for the folks that were hurt and the person that died. This was a turning point in our country. We almost lost President Trump. And honestly, my heart was like beating out of my chest because I didn't know what happened to him. I just saw them take him away real quick initially. And to hear that he is okay was such a sigh of relief. But it also makes me so upset because I know that there are forces out there that might be looking at President Trump like he's inevitable, and wouldn't have been too sad if that person would have succeeded, but it would have gave them the opportunity to accomplish one objective, which is stopping Trump, while still trying to look like they're moral. And now all of a sudden they have empathy and sympathy, but it failed. So we're going to see. I'm sure more details are going to come in about this whole situation, more investigations, but I still don't know how they even allowed this to happen. So God bless y'all. God bless America. I'll probably be talking about this either maybe tomorrow, or I definitely will be talking about it Monday as more details come in. God bless. Take care.